everybody, it's Wootini from GayGamer.net, here with another one of my video podcasts. This week I am talking about the new game that I got for my birthday. But I actually got two presents. First, I got the final volume in the Star Wars Omnibus a long time ago, which collects the old Marvel comics, Star Wars comics, that were kind of awesome and ridiculous. I have never read these, in fact. I had a subscription when I was a little kid, and I loved them. And these I've never read, so they're all brand new to me, which is very exciting. But they're kind of hilarious because they started doing the comics right after Star Wars. So leading up into Empire, there was no universe really established. So everyone had to wear the same costumes that they wore in Star Wars, and they kept playing up the Luke and Leia romance, which, you know, as we know later, doesn't play out the way that you've been led to believe in the first one. But as things were revealed in Empire and Jedi, like, the stories had to keep shifting and changing and being like, oh, wait, no. You know, oh, like, Jabba the Hutt's not a guy, like, oh, wait, you know. So it was all kind of haphazard and strange, and I love it just for that. So they're not accurate Star Wars universe stuff, because it's like this weird alternate universe where they were just having silly fun, and it was just bizarre. And then I also got, as expected, Resident Evil Revelations for the 3DS. Or as the Spine calls it, Resident Evil Revelations. Oops. And it's great. This is the Resident Evil game I've been waiting for. But Mercenaries, while it was pretty cool, it was not the story-based Resident Evil game I was looking for. Though the graphics of Mercenaries had me very excited for this to see how pretty the graphics would be. And they are very pretty. The story... I know I wanted a story-based Resident Evil game, but to be fair, the stories in the Resident Evil games are always a little weird. You would think that this game called itself Resident Evil Revelations because it's going to make some kind of massive revelation about the Resident Evil universe. I don't know, it might still do that, although I've heard it doesn't. I'm only like halfway through or whatever. But I think they called it Revelations because basically they just keep telling you things. And so it's kind of killing the story momentum, because you're playing as Jill Valentine with her, you know, partner, and you're exploring this cruise ship that's all abandoned and swarming with monsters and whatever. And it's very, like, thrilling. And in fact, there's a couple of sequences where I was legitimately, like, on the edge of my seat. I mean, on the train, on the edge of my seat. On my way to work, but still, on the edge of that seat, too. But then, as soon as you finish that scene, it cuts to... because it cuts to Chris Redfield, who's like, oh, I have to go rescue Jill. And they were looking for Chris in the first place, so it's like, they're looking for Chris on this cruise ship, except that he's not there. He's somewhere else. And then the game just cuts to that scene, so you see where he is. And I'm like, hello, storyline momentum, create suspense, leave people guessing, like, what? And, you know, it's sort of like in The Abyss, when they would cut to the surface world, it completely destroys any tension that they've created about being claustrophobically stuck beneath the sea. Or, and this is just me, I think, because everybody else loves the director's cut of Aliens. I love the director's cut of Aliens as well, except I don't like the fact that they cut to Newt and her family coming across the facehuggers. Because I find the original cut, where you have Ripley trying to convince them that there's something messed up, and then they're like, okay, we've lost contact, let's go to the planet and see what's happened. I mean, obviously you know that aliens have gotten loose. But I liked the fact that you had not yet been to the planet, and you went to the planet with Ripley. And you saw the planet for the first time with Ripley. So I find that scene where you actually are on the planet with the aliens, I find it kind of undercuts the suspense. But that maybe that's just me, because I don't know anyone else who has that opinion. It's just me. So, like, the storytelling in this is really awkward, and it's killing me. Because every time I'm playing as Jill, it's great. Anytime I have to play as somebody else, I feel like I'm just biding my time until I can get back to the main game. Because also, as Jill, you're upgrading your weapons and doing stuff, but when you're playing as the other characters, you don't upgrade anything, so you're really just, they're just placeholders. And they're just dragging things out, and I don't get that. It's like at the end of L.A. Noire, when they suddenly cut to the different character and had you play as him for a while, and you're like, no, we've been invested with this character, don't do that, it's annoying. I will also say that my boyfriend got me the game, and he said, you didn't want that controller thing, did you, because I did not get that for you. I honestly didn't want the Circle Pad Pro to begin with, just because, I mean, I hear from people that it's actually not too bad, it's very comfortable and whatever, and while I would appreciate the ability to, you know, have the extra thumbstick and whatever, I feel like Nintendo's never had 2 joysticks on their console, their handhelds, ever. This one actually has the stick as well as the directional pad, which is completely new. And yes, they probably should have had one on the right-hand side, and they did not. Yes, it is a design flaw, but it was their decision to do it, and I feel like games should just say, okay, we will adjust our control schemes. I mean, I'm playing the game with the control scheme that it comes with, and I don't have a problem with it. I'm fine with it. Everything works fine. I don't have a problem. Yes, it might be even smoother and more awesome with the Circle Pad Pro, but I don't have a problem with it the way it is. And I feel like if you can't make your game work on the hardware, then maybe you shouldn't put the game on the hardware. Like, that's why I'm super excited about the Vita, not just because it has the prettiest graphics I've ever seen, but because it finally has 2 thumbsticks. But, you know, I'm not interested in buying this attachment for my 3DS, also because it makes it clunky, and then it won't fit in my sexy leather case that I keep my 3DS in. I would have to keep taking the 3DS out, and then just having the Circle Pad Pro just like loose in my bag, and that's just annoying and stupid. So I have no intention of getting that. But I am super enjoying Resident Evil Revelations. Silly storyline, bad voice acting, it's all there. Gruesome, gruesome creatures. I will admit that I am playing it on casual, simply because I don't want to get to the end of the game and then suddenly not be able to finish because the final boss is just that hard. So I'm playing it on casual, which still has its challenges. I mean, I'm not dying constantly like I feel like I would be if I was playing it on normal, but I have to play on casual, otherwise I might not be able to finish it, and that would suck. And I do appreciate that the demo that they released really was just a tease, and that does not actually appear anywhere in the game. There's a similar situation, but it is not as it plays out in the demo. Like, that environment and those creatures and the character, like, it's all the same elements are there, but it plays out completely differently when you're playing the actual game, which I really appreciate, because that's why I'm not playing the Mass Effect 3 demo that was just released, because, as I understand, it's actually the very beginning of Mass Effect 3, and I want to sit down and play Mass Effect 3 and have that awesome beginning lead into the awesome rest of the game. I don't want to sit down and play an awesome beginning and then have to wait weeks to keep playing. And then have to play it over again because, you know, you don't get to continue from where you left off in the demo once you get the real game. So, I will just play it when it comes out. And until then, I will keep playing Resident Evil. And I might have more to talk about it next week. Who knows? Maybe I'll get another game. Maybe I won't play any games at all. Maybe I'll become a hermit and live on a hill. I don't know. You'll have to tune in next week and find out. Bye!